to my channel, Meals with Mac.
Hey guys, so tonight we're doing my take on chicken parmesan. But instead of chicken, we're gonna use pork steaks, all right? And we're gonna bread it all up in a nice parmesan bread crusting with some parmesan cheese and garlic, all right? And we're gonna pan sear that all up, and then we're gonna finish it in the oven with our own homemade marinara sauce. And I'm gonna put bell peppers, onions, celery, and of course we're gonna put a little Romano cheese in it as well. All right, and then we'll make some pasta to plate it all with. And then also on the side, we're gonna do sauteed collard greens. That's right, sauteed collard greens with crab and bacon in it. You guys are gonna love it. And then of course we're gonna finish it off with some nice French garlic bread as well. And then of course our cocktail at the end is Menage a Trois wine.
You guys excited? Let's go.
All right, family. So the first thing we're gonna get started on is our fried collard greens and crab meat. All right, so we're gonna start off with fried bacon that I have here. And then of course, as always, usually when I do a lot of my dishes, I have my holy trinity. So I got my celery here, my red onions, my bell peppers already diced up. And then you can also see I've already washed and broken down my collard greens here. And then the crab legs, I'll break those down later, get all that good crab meat out, and go ahead and add that to the dish right when it's just about done. Other than that, let's go ahead and get started. All right, family, so the first thing we're gonna do is go ahead and start frying up the bacon for our collard greens. So what I have here is about 6 slices of just some regular good bacon, smoked bacon from my market. And I'm gonna just lay these in like that, and go ahead and get these fried up and crisped up. And another thing with this, so just like last week when we did the fried cabbage, we're gonna do everything in this skillet right here. And we're gonna add our onions, our bell peppers, the celery, everything is gonna go in on this one right here. All right, so I'm gonna just lay those in like this, and brown this bacon up, get it good and fried up. And then we're gonna return this to the collard greens. Helps lock in a lot of good salty flavor and smoky flavor from the bacon. All right, it's gonna help itself with one of the flavor profiles for this portion of the dish. All right, so let me go ahead and get this bacon fried up, guys. And once we get done with that, we'll go ahead with the rest of the collard greens. All right. Okay, family, welcome back. All right, so we got our bacon fried up and everything. So the first thing we wanna do is start sauteing our vegetables down. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna add is our bell peppers, and I'm gonna do about a little less than half a cup. All right, we're gonna get those in there just like that. All right, and then we're gonna add our celery to it, and again we're just gonna saute these down, let these get nice and soft, and start to get a little translucent as they go, meaning that, you know, you can see through them. All right, and then we're gonna add the red onions next. All right, so we're gonna sweat these down just like this, okay? And then as we go through it, as it's doing that, we're gonna start to get the flavor of that bacon that we just added to it, that we just cooked. All right, so that's why we're using the bacon grease here. Like I said before, you know, my grandmother, just watching her cook, the bacon fat, you know, that's something that she would always use and incorporate in the dish. And the biggest thing was she didn't want to waste anything. We didn't waste anything growing up, and I think that helps me with my appreciation of a lot of things that I cook and I use in my house. So just growing up now. So those are some life lessons that I've learned. So we don't throw away anything. All right. So we're just, like I said, we're gonna sweat these down. All right, just like this. And we're not gonna season it just yet because I want to season everything all at the same time and let it all come together. All right. So once I get ready, I'm gonna sweat these down just a few more minutes. Then I'm gonna add the collard greens to it. All right. I'm gonna reduce my heat down. So I'm down now. Just I'm at a little before a medium heat right here. All right, so like I said, we just want to slow cook these down. All right, slow cook these down. Let these start to soften up really good. All right, and then we're gonna season it, add our collard greens to it, and cover it up and let it cook the rest of the way. At the last bit, then we'll go ahead and add our crab meat to it. Alright? Alright guys, hang on, I'll be right back. Okay family, so while our Holy Trinity is sauteing down and getting really good and soft, we're going to go ahead and start breaking down our crab legs. Alright, and so what I have here is I have four king crab legs here. Alright, and I'm going to break it all down and get all that good meat out of it. And again, the reason we're doing this, and what really got me to thinking about it, I'll be honest guys, was just the fact that I had these crab legs and I was like, man, what do I want to do with them? And I just felt like, hey, nobody's really put crab legs in collard greens before, and I thought it would pair very well. Alright, so I wanted to try something new, bring a little something different to the dish that I'm doing. Like I said, I want to always try and do traditional home southern style, soul food style meals, but I think the crab legs is just something a little different that's going to take it over the edge. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and break these down, get the crab meat out, and then we're going to add these. These are already pre-cooked, so we don't want to overcook them, but we're going to add these right when the collard greens are already done. And all we want to do is just warm it up, let it get a lot of that flavor in it, and then it'll be ready for plating. Alright guys, so let me break these down and we'll be right back. Alright family, welcome back. So we got our Holy Trinity sauteed down really well where we want it. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and add the collard greens to this. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do, like I said, I've already broke these down and washed them and got them pretty much where I want them. So as I add them, I'm going to just give them a nice little tear. Alright, and break them down a little more. Alright, but as I add them, like I said, these are collard greens, so they're going to wilt and cook down the way we want to, but we want to do it slow. Alright, we just want to cook nice and slow. Like I said, we're using the same process as if we were going to do fried cabbage, but we're just going to do collard greens. Alright, so I just want to break them down, a nice rough tear, or if you want to, I know traditionally when you do greens, you want to roll them and chop them and all of that. That's great. You can do the same deal if you want to try it with this meal, with this process the way I'm doing it. But I just like to rip these turdies down like that, and I'm gonna just go ahead and just stuff them right into my skillet like this. All right, and then again we're gonna season it, place the top on, and just let it slow cook, just like that. Oh, these are amazing. And like I said, I got these fresh from my store right there in the produce section, and I got a few stems in here. I like the stems in my greens. My grandmother used to always kind of keep a few in there, and to me it adds a nice bite to the dish when you eat it. Alright, so we're going to get those in there like that. Alright, so we're going to season it up. The first thing we're going to come with is a little bit of Cajun seasoning. Alright, and I'm doing about a teaspoon and a half. Alright, then we're going to come behind that with red chili pepper flakes. Alright, we're going to do about a teaspoon and a half of those. Alright, some nice onion powder. We're going to do 2 teaspoons of that. 2 teaspoons of garlic powder as well. And then of course we're going to follow up with a little bit of salt. Alright, we're going to do about a teaspoon and a half. I'm sorry, teaspoon and a half of table salt. And this sea salt that I'm using, guys, the Creole seasoning has a lot of sodium in it as well. So we always want to kind of try and keep it good and balanced when you're dealing with dishes like this. Alright, so what I want to do is get in here and give this just a nice little stir and a turn. Alright, just like that. And the flavor and the smell is already getting really good in here, guys. Alright, and like I said, as you can see, it's starting to wilt down really good where we want it at. Oh, that's looking amazing. That's looking beautiful. And the color is just amazing, guys. That bright green color. And I think what we're going to garnish this with is some nice little red cherry tomatoes. I'm going to chop those up And when we get ready to plate, we'll garnish it with that. All right. Oh, that looks amazing. All right. Gonna add a little more to it. Because like I said, as this cooks, the cabbage will cook down. I'm sorry, the greens. I'm thinking about the fried cabbage that I cooked last week, guys, and it was amazing. All right. There we go. That's the last little bit of it right there. And again, we're just gonna reduce our heat down. All right, now. And then I'm gonna cover this. I'm gonna cover this and just let it do its work. Let us do its work. All right. And then right before we plate it, a couple of minutes before we plate it, before they're completely done, that's when we'll add the crab meat and we'll be done with this portion of the dish. Oh man, that looks great. All right, family, welcome back. So now let's go ahead and start seasoning up our pork chops. All right, so like I said, we're gonna do my take on chicken parmesan. All right, but we're gonna do it with pork chops. All right, so I got a few pork steaks here, and these jokers are pretty big. These are good ones that I have here from my local market. All right, so I'm gonna take these. I'm gonna lay those out like that. I'm gonna just lay these down just like this. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started to seasoning. So the first thing we wanna come with again is sea salt. All right, and we're just gonna lightly, we wanna season these because pork in itself is already kind of salty. All right, but we still wanna get some flavor in that. All right, and with these pork steaks, and these are boneless pork steak, guys. All right, if you wanna use the bone in, that's fine. But for this dish, what I'm trying, I just wanted to go ahead and use the boneless pork steaks. All right, so I'm gonna just lightly season that with some sea salt. All right, we're gonna come behind that with our onion powder. All right, and again, we're just gonna lightly sprinkle that on, just like that. And we want to get it all over our meat, just like that, just like that. All right, and next we're gonna come with our garlic powder. Oh, that's beautiful. You know, it always kind of gets to me how good seasonings and spice smell, even while you're prepping your food. All right, and of course, I always got to come with some type of Creole seasoning. All right, and I love that. It adds such another. It just takes your food to a whole nother level, guys. When you start to add like Creole seasoning to just your chicken, your shrimp, and I know we always want to use it on fish, sometimes specifically, but I tell you, on chicken, on steaks, in this case we're doing pork chops, it's amazing. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get these seasoned up. All right, and then we're gonna follow behind that with some nice black pepper. Oh, that's looking good. That's amazing right there. All right, so I'm gonna flip these over, do it all over again. Then I'm gonna show you how we go through the breading process. Hang on, guys. All right, family, welcome back. All right, so as you can see right now, I'm putting some stewed tomatoes into my blender. All right, so what we're doing right now is building the base for our marinara sauce. I would tell you guys, a lot of people sometimes they like to go ahead and buy a jar or whatever, or a canned sauce, which is fine. But I'll tell you, if you want that flavor and that taste, that boldness, that's all your own, make your own. All right, so and really you don't need like a high-speed food processor or none of that. Your blender will work just fine. All right, or even, I know some people that make it by hand, crush their tomatoes, stew their tomatoes, and then crush it by hand. All right, so with that, I got my blender here. I already kind of started on it, so I'm gonna blend these down. All right. And that's right where we want this, because I want the sauce, I want it really thick, really chunky, really hearty for our dish. All right. Okay, guys, so we're gonna go ahead and start building our sauce. So the first thing we want to do is we're gonna go ahead and add a half a tablespoon of butter. Half a stick of butter, I'm sorry, to that. All right, we're gonna let that melt down. And while that's melting down, we're gonna go ahead and add our celery. All right, our onions. Get all those in there. And the rest of our bell pepper. Awesome. And while that's going like that, we're just gonna stir that around in there and let those flavors and all of that come together. We just wanna, again, we're not gonna sweat these down too much, all right? Because like I said, I want this sauce to be really bold and chunky as we use it in tonight's dish, all right? So, like I said, we're just gonna kind of saute these up a little bit. We want them soft, but we don't want them, you know, we don't want these just mushy. All right, we don't want to cook them down till they're mushy. We just want them nice and tender. All right, so we're gonna let these go for a few minutes. All right, and while they're doing that, we can season it up a little bit. All right, so again, we're gonna come with some table salt. All right, we're gonna do about, say, a teaspoon and a half sea salt right in there. All right, again, red pepper flakes, all of those in. All right, and then with that, we'll go ahead and do our minced garlic. I had a spoon for my minced garlic, I don't know where it went. All right, here we go. There we go. We're gonna do a whole tablespoon. Let's do a tablespoon and a half of minced garlic in that. All right. And again, we're gonna move with this kind of, not too fast, but we just want to make sure that everything gets incorporated in really good. All right, as those seasonings go, we don't want to burn the garlic. All right. And the sauce, we're just gonna let it go at a slow simmer. All right, just like that. And I would tell you the smell of this is already amazing again, guys. It's just the flavor. I love Italian dishes. It's not too far from a lot of soul food, all right? A lot of the ingredients and even the traditions with a lot of Italian dishes, you know, you can find in a lot of soul food dishes as well, all right? But again, we just want to saute these down, let these get nice and soft. All right. Again, we're not get them to the point where they're translucent, they're turning brown, because I still want that green coloring in it as well. All right. So right about this point is when I can go ahead, and I think I want to go ahead and start adding my sauce. All right. So like I said, I have my sauce in my blender, my stewed tomatoes. All right. So I got this right where I want it. Bring it up just a little bit. Medium heat. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour that tomato sauce in just like that. Just like that, guys. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, that's beautiful. And that's just regular stewed tomatoes. All right. And you just put them in your blender and blend them up, get them to the consistency that you want it. All right. And this is what we're gonna use to make our marinara sauce. All right. Just like that, look at that. All right, so now we're steady building flavors. We're steady adding seasoning to it, right? All right, so now I'm gonna come behind it with more of my Creole seasoning. Love it. All right, we're gonna come with some basil. That goes into the party. And then of course, we'll finish it up with some oregano. That goes in as well. All right. And the thing about sauce, guys, is yes, you just want a nice and slow simmer. We're just gonna stir this all in right there. All right. Oh, that looks good. That looks good. It smells good. It's amazing. All right. And depending on how the consistency of your sauce, how you like it, similar to like a lot of Louisiana dishes, New Orleans style dishes, Cajun dishes, the roux, all right, is with your sauce. So with this, we're gonna add some tomato paste to it. All right, and that's gonna help as our thickening agent for this as well. All right. All right, so I'm gonna do a whole can of tomato paste. Just gonna drop that in just like that. Get it off my spoon. There we go. Just like that. And that just adds, again, it's gonna add a whole nother flavor profile to this dish, guys. And again, it's gonna help as well as a nice little thickening agent for it as well. All right, and then of course, to take it a little further as far as thickening, we're gonna add the water from the pasta. Once we boil it up, we're gonna add about, just reserve a little bit, a little less than about half a cup to it to get it where we really want it as far as the sauce. All right, so I like mine, when it comes to sauces, especially like a marinara, you know, I like mine relatively thick, but not just so thick it's almost a gravy. All right, and at the same time, I don't want it so runny it's not sticking to the pasta, guys. It's all about the consistency, your stir, and everything like that. All right, oh, that's looking amazing. All right, guys, let's let this go, and then we'll get started on the all parts of the dish. Meals and Mac. All right, family, so we got everything. We got our breadcrumbs pulverized down where we want it. We added the extra Parmesan cheese to it. So now we're gonna go to the bread. And what I have here is just some egg mixture. All right, that's it. Just simple little egg mixture. All right. And then we're gonna hit our breadcrumbs just like this. And we just wanna pack those on like that. It's just a nice little crust that we wanna do with it. We're not completely breading it or coating it like we would say chicken or something like that as we fry it. We just wanna get a nice little coating on it. All right, we're gonna lightly toast these, and then we're gonna finish them off in our broiler. All right. So we're just gonna do them just like this, guys. And I'll let these sit. So while we were doing everything else, these were just sitting, get a nice little marinade on them. All right, for a couple of hours, and now we're ready to go ahead and cook them up. Again, we just want to toast these. We just want to get these nice and coated with the breadcrumbs, just like this. All right, guys, let me finish doing. We're gonna finish breading these up, and then we're gonna go ahead and get them ready for the grill. All right, family, welcome back. So as you can see, we're gonna go ahead and check on our collard greens, and they look amazing, guys. We got them right where we want to be. All right, so now what I want to do is go ahead and I'm gonna reincorporate the bacon back into the dish, as well as the crab legs. All right, oh, those look so good. Those look so good. All right, so let's go ahead and get that bacon in there. Whole pieces, guys. Again, we want big, bold flavors with our dish. So we're gonna add the bacon, just like that. And then here come our crab. Just like that. Big whole pieces, just like that. All right, let's stir this. And we just want to incorporate all of this into the dish. We want that crab meat now to start soaking up that flavor from the bacon and the collard greens and the onions, the bell pepper, the celery. All right, we just want all the flavors and everything to come together. All right, I'm gonna turn this down to a nice low heat. All right, and just let this pretty much just like a slow simmer. And we just want all those flavors to come together. All right. Hey, on, guys. All right, family, welcome back. So again, tonight we're doing a pork chop marinara, kind of like my take on grilled chicken parmesan or chicken parmesan. All right. So we're gonna go ahead now and start toasting up and pan-searing up our pork chops. All right, so again, as always, I start off with my black cast iron skillet here. All right, and so I'm gonna go ahead and melt down some butter into it. I'm gonna add just some extra virgin olive oil as well. Again, we're just gonna go ahead and toast this up. We're not gonna fully cook it here, because we're gonna put it in we're gonna put it in the oven, and we're gonna cook it the rest of the way through. All right. So, but again, we're gonna go ahead. We're just gonna melt some butter. It's gonna add an extra layer of flavor to the pork chops. All right, and it's gonna give it that really good toasted, tasty flavor as well. All right. So I'm gonna just lay those in just like that. And look at that. Oh my God, that looks amazing. All right, so these are pretty big. So I'm probably wind up only getting about 2 or 3 in there. Looks like we're gonna get 2. Alright, so we're gonna let these go, and again I'm cooking on a medium to high heat. Alright, and we just want to toast them up and get them where we want them to be. Alright, again we just want to toast these, get a good nice sear on the other side. On that side, then we're going to flip them over, and then we'll finish the meal after. Hey guys, welcome back. And as you can see, we got our first flip done on these. And you can look at the crust, see how nice and beautiful and golden brown that is. That's what we want with a dish like this. Alright, and again, they're not fully cooked through now. Alright, because again, like I said, we're going to put these in our oven, and we're going to cook it the rest of the way through with the sauce. Alright, so go ahead and hang out guys, let's go ahead and get started on our pasta. Alright family, welcome back. So now we're going to go ahead and get started on our linguine pasta. Alright, so the first thing I want to do, we already got our water boiling, we've already added salt to it. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and just add my fettuccine to it. Alright, and I love this. This type of pasta is going to go very well with this dish. It's a bigger, thicker, bolder pasta. Alright, and for the pork chops that we have, it's going to help really with the sauce. We're using a big chunky sauce. Alright, and so it's going to, again, it's going to help itself really lend itself to the dish, and it's going to really, as it expands and that flavor comes through with it, it's going to help with this dish as well. Alright, so let's go ahead and get our pasta cooked up, and then we'll go ahead with the rest of the meal. As you can see, I'm adding the marinara sauce to the bottom of the skillet. Alright, and we just want that to cook in. We want those flavors to come in just like that. Alright, and that's going to serve as the base, alright, for our dish. Just want to ladle that in just like that. Alright, so while that's in like that, alright, now I'm going to add some nice Romano cheese to this. Alright, just want to grate that in. I'll grate that Romano cheese in just like that. Nice bold flavor. Oh, that looks amazing. Just like that. Nice Romano cheese. I want to get all that in. And we're steady building flavors, guys. Steady building flavors. Alright. So we got our Romano in. Alright, so now we're going to reintroduce the pork chops back too. Alright, like I said, we grated those up. Got them nice and toasted where we want them. Alright, so I'm going to just lay that on top, right on top of that, just like that. Alright. And these are some really nice pork steaks that we have here, guys. Alright. There we go, just like that. Alright. Alright, then we're going to come back behind that. Again, we're going to add more sauce to it. And we're just going to spoon this right over the top. Just like that. Just like that. Oh my gosh, that's looking and smelling amazing, guys. Just like that. And like I said, that's why we went with like a nice bold, chunky cut on our celery, our onions, our bell peppers, the garlic, all of that. Alright, because I want those big bold flavors to come through. Big pieces, big flavors. Alright. And then right on top of that, we're going to go ahead and place a mozzarella cheese on top just like that. Oh, that looks so beautiful. I'm hungry right now. I can eat this right now, but the pork chops aren't done. Alright. And then we're going to finish it off with some more Romano. We're just going to grate that right on the top, guys. Just like that. Alright guys, and we're going to put this in our oven. I got my oven set at 400 degrees. I'm going to let this go for about a good 10-15 minutes. Alright, we want the cheese to melt down. We want the pork chop to cook the rest of the way through. Alright, and that's going to be a beautiful, beautiful dish. Alright. Alright family, welcome back. So next we're going to go ahead and do the French bread for our dish. Alright. So I have some nice butter sauce that I did here. And my butter sauce, guys, I just did some minced garlic, half a stick of salted butter, and some basil. All right. And also I put in a little onion powder and some garlic powder as well. And as you can see that garlic still right there on my brush. All right, and we're just gonna brush this right on top of our bread. All right, just like that. And I also, if you would like to do, instead of butter, you want to use extra virgin olive oil, that's great. You can use that as well. All right, like I said, for mine, I did some butter, salted butter as a matter of fact. All right, so we're just gonna spread those on, and we just want to get that on nice, and because it's gonna soak all the way through. We're just gonna do the top portion. All right, just like that. Oh, that looks beautiful. And that basil, I like how that basil is coming through on this dish as well. Nice bold flavors, and I'll tell you guys again, it's always, for me, it's those smells. The smells is just, it's just so amazing. And what I did, how I did this with my sauce bowl here, I just put it on my on top of my stove, let it get hot, and then I add the minced garlic to it. Again, we don't want it to burn. We never want garlic to burn because it gets bitter, but we do want it to roast a little bit. All right. So as we add that, we just want it to get in there, in those little pockets. We just want that butter and that garlic to seep down off in those pockets like that. Do a nice little pass right here. Touch up any ones I haven't gotten done. Everybody deserves some before they go to the party. All right, just a little bit more on that one right there. All right, now I want to come back, and I have some Romano cheese here, really good. And I'm starting to kind of experiment with Romano a little bit. It's a great cheese, I like it. I love that flavor, the bold flavor that comes with a Romano cheese. All right, it's not quite up there with I would say like an Asiago, but it is a really great flavor, and especially in a dish like this. All right, awesome. So we got that on there, and then of course the Parmesan. All right, it goes with the theme of the night. All right, again, we're doing Parmesan crusted pork chops. I got some Parmesan in the sauce. All right, and again, Parmesan in a dish like this is amazing, guys. And I'm gonna tell you, the wine that we're gonna do, Menage a Trois, is very good. It's a good wine. All right, and it's gonna pair very well with this as well. All right, so there we go. All right, guys, I got these right where I want it. We're getting close to plating up, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to the channel. Again, I appreciate the love and support. Meals with Mac, guys. Family, welcome back. We're finally done cooking everything. All right, so let's go ahead and get ready to plate. So first, like I said, our side for the night was our collard greens and crabs. All right, and again, we did those with some really nice collards. We fried up some bacon. We also did, of course, the Holy Trinity with them as well. All right, and then we put some really nice pieces of big pieces of bacon in it, along with some crab meat. All right, so here we go. That's how those collards came out. Then let's go ahead and garnish that. We're going to use some red tomatoes on those as well. Just add a little color to the dish. And there we go. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. Just like that. All right. And you know what? We got a little extra crab. Let's add a little crab to that. A little white crab meat to that. That's beautiful, guys. That is beautiful. All right. And then, of course, the star of the night's dish, the pasta and the Parmesan. All right. So again, this is my take on chicken Parmesan. All right. And tonight we did it with pork steaks or pork chops. All right. And again, we topped it with Romano and mozzarella cheese. All right. Oh man, I'm just trying to get a nice piece out of here and add it to our dish. Oh, that's beautiful. That's real beautiful. All right. That's beautiful, guys. And there we go. All right. And then of course, our bread on the side. All right, we did some nice French baguettes. Toasted up some really nice French baguettes as well. All right. There we go, guys. What we think? Okay, and there we have it, guys. Another beautiful meal. Again, we did a Parmesan crusted pork chop with marinara sauce. Topped it with mozzarella. We did our baguettes here. Also on the side, we did our fried collard greens with crab meat, bacon, garnished it with tomatoes. And of course, our cocktail tonight, a great Cabernet Sauvignon, Menage a Trois. Thank you, guys. Like and subscribe. Thank you so much for your support. All right, guys. Have a good night. Meals with Mac.